Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Power Partners United Women of Power weekly training. My name is Marisa Fletcher, and I am joined by Miss Isela Bonata, Crystalline Yim, and Cynthia Alvidrez, all the women of power here. And we're here every week to share with you guys and have a really impactful training, something that you can take value from and help grow your business with. Okay, so we're welcoming people in as you guys all join in. We're going to keep on moving forward. If this is your first time, what we like to do each and every training, each and every week, is we like to have a recognition moment. So at this time, we ask that anyone can unmute and they can share with us a win that they had for the week. You know, we haven't been here for 2 weeks. We took last week off for the masterclass. We feel everybody needs to participate, find out what the updates are, hear from the CEO himself. So we're back this week. So it's been 2 weeks, guys. What have we done? What shares have we had? What wins? Have you gotten a new electric bill, recent install, a new person to join your team? I'm going to ask someone to unmute and share those wins with us, or raise your hand if you want to be unmuted.
Well, first, I want to take 1 second to recognize Cynthia Alvidrez and Marisa Fletcher for being, in the top recognized last week. And Cynthia and Marisa will have to share with us their secrets in one of our trainings to see how they got where they got. And I'm just really excited, as a part of our, women empowering team, to be recognized with power, because as we all know, only 20% of this industry is made out of women. So I'm really excited for you. Congratulations to you both. And for myself, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. I did have an install last week. I have an install, 2 installs this week. And then also just want to recognize, I don't know if he's on, I don't think he is, but Rafael Ramirez, we were able to close one for him. And then also for, thank you, Anthony Bonilla, for recommending one of his teammates, Jorge Gonzalez. We got one closed deal for him as well. And so anyways, really excited for everybody. So if anybody else wants to share, let's celebrate our wins.
Nice. I see Miss Kathy King has her hand up. Miss Kathy, can you unmute and share with us?
Yes, this is a small win, but I did my first 2 presentations this week.
Nice. There's no such thing as a small win. A win is a win.
It's a big
Well, not, wait, hold on. I'm a tier 2. So it was my first solo presentations.
Yeah.
Got you.
Can you hear me?
Very first solo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. One of many leads to closings. Good job, Kathy. Thanks for sharing with us. How long have you been with Power?
I have been blessed to be with Power since July. In my first 30 days, I made it to tier 1, or made it to tier 2,
Nice.
which I'm just thinking, okay, God, all I did was work. I didn't know what I was doing. I just worked. And then at the end of the road, I was a tier 2. Now I'm just focused on being a mentor, and how I'm doing that is focusing on one sale at a time. At first, I was focusing on the big picture and visualizing the big picture. And I said to myself, wait, let's just do one step at a time. So now I'm visualizing winning one sale, and then the next sale, and then the next sale. I just want to throw that in there.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Kathy. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, because that's exactly right. One step at a time will get you there, and keep working, right? Who else has a win to share with us? Who's received a referral, maybe an ambassador referral or family referral? Who wants to share?
I received a referral, and I got an ambassador and an electric bill.
Hi, Denise. Congratulations on that. That's a successful week.
Thank you.
Congrats. I know I've helped you with the couple, so you're going to be looking at tier 2 and tier 3 here pretty soon. I know, right?
Thank you. You're the best.
Who else, ladies, has a win? Who wants to share with us?
I got a win.
Let's go, Stephanie.
So I got a first contract last week with Christlin's help.
Nice. So your very first contract?
Yes.
Good job, Stephanie. How'd you find that contract, if you don't mind sharing?
Door knocking.
Door knocking, amazing, amazing. It's an amazing segue to our training next week. Hint, hint, door knocking. Thanks, Stephanie, for sharing. So door knocking, code lead, you matched up with the mentor, Crispin, and you guys were able to successfully help that family go green.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome, awesome. Who else out there has a win? I see some stuff in the chat. Anthony, I see something about a cancel. You want to share that with us?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't have a sale this week, but if you guys remember, I had a sale for my wife with her first client. Well, this client, we didn't think he needed a MPU. Well, apparently he did need an MPU with a possible relocation. So that was going to add over $10,000 more. But we eliminate the relocation. We're just doing the MPU. But I was able to talk him into why it's still beneficial to go solar, even though the price was going to increase a bit. And what helped a lot was setting the expectation to the client during the consultation that he might need an MPU. And if so, we'll revisit that after the site survey. So he was not scared, but iffy about moving forward into permitting stage because of the cost. But again, just setting that expectation with the client during the consultation, I think that's what helped the most. And we're moving forward. We're already in the permitting stage.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. Anthony, mentoring the platform as well. Our resident gentleman that loves to join us. We appreciate you. Who else? Wait, I'm looking in the chat. I see Vicky just passed her tier 2 certification. Cause for claps, Vicky. Do you have something you want to share with us? That's amazing. I love it.
Well, just a big thank you to Marissa, Isela, and Jordan, who were my mentors on my first 4 projects that helped me get there. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Vicky, for sharing that. And yes, you guys, tier 2 is a great milestone to pass. That's when you're able to sell and help on yourself. And then you're what, 5 contracts away from tier 3, being able to be a mentor and helping other people and other families go green. So that's amazing. Do we have 1 or 2 more before we jump into the training? Anyone else want to share? I heard I do. Who was that?
Hi.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, my name is Frank Lopez. I helped one of my consultants, George Ramos, with 2 mentor sales this week. And I have 2 installations going in this Monday.
Nice. Congrats. So 2 mentor sales, 2 installations going. Frank, how long have you been with the platform?
I went full-time in March.
In March. Okay, so less than a year and already helping those families go green.
Yes.
With the mentors. Thanks, Frank, for sharing with us.
Frank is a door knocker. So when we have door knocking, I want Frank to share some of his experiences.
All right, Frank. We'll see you back here next week. And then Claudia. Claudia has her hand up. She's going to be our last one for this morning. All these awesome wins. Go ahead, Ms. Claudia.
Hi, this is Claudia Nobles, and I had helped our first client now, and we're waiting for a site survey.
Congratulations, Claudia. Awesome. It's always so rewarding, especially to help that very first client, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. Where did you find that client, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a realtor, so he's one of my past clients.
Woohoo! Go fellow realtor. Oh, sorry. I get excited. All right, let's go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody that shared with us, and just everybody that's here to learn from us and help push us all on. We really appreciate you for showing up. You know, time is important. Time is money. And on that note, I'm going to go right into our very next part of our training this morning. And that, my friends, would be me. So every single week, one of the mentors in the platform has the ability to just give you some good training, some education, to show you how they do what they do on the platform. This week, it's going to be me. I'm going to be talking to you about Powur and the financing options in Powur and why I like them or why I choose specific financing options. Okay, so that's this week. But I do want you guys to stay tuned for next week. Cynthia is going to be up next week, and she also has a guest speaker for us. So definitely we're going to get into that. Looking at the clock. All right. So just a little bit about me for those that don't know me or haven't met me yet. I'm a licensed real estate broker, part of a husband and wife team. I've always had a #1 priority of giving great service, great value to my real estate clients. I've been in the industry for quite some time. I've had clients that have kids that I've helped those kids buy houses. So it's always about value. Initially, it was all about real estate. I was introduced to Powur about 3 years ago. And once introduced to Powur, I began helping my real estate clients go solar so that they could go solar the right way. Now my #1 goal is to educate my fellow realtors and peers on the value of solar. So they understand that solar is a valuable thing, just it has to be done the right way and represented correctly to their clients up front. So that's what I do. That's me in a nutshell. I'm a trainer, educator, kind of little nerdy person. I like to do those things. Just a little bit more about me though, so that people know what makes me different. I've been in real estate for 20 years this month. October made 20 years. I am a green certified realtor. So we know about the energy efficiency improvements that need to go into a home for it to be rated HERS rated, or for it to be rated for green certification. I'm an active real estate trainer, mentor, and still an active real estate investor. So when I talk to other real estate professionals, I like to share with them, you can still be active and still do your passion and what you love to do, and just add solar as a value add, to that real estate business. So my husband and I are still currently flipping properties as we speak. Got one that's like 3 weeks late that I'm working on. I've got a team. I still have a real estate team. There's 5 on our team, and I'm still a mentor out there for real estate and for solar. But I'm also a wife, a mother, and a brand new grandmother. So I have a 1-month-old grandbaby, Marley Storm. And so I spend a lot of time with that grandbaby just to share, my background and a little bit more about me. Again, I am a serial entrepreneur. That's what I call myself. I've always worked for myself from the age of 13 all the way to my age now. And like Isela mentioned, thank you so much for that recognition, Isela. I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to have enough relationships to be able to place 24 in the contest that we just had with Powur for 2022. So I placed number 24 out of between 7,000, 8,000 consultants, not quite sure the number right now. So pretty big accomplishment, and it's all because of my Powur family, my Powur culture. So thank you guys. And then last but not least, I'm a real estate solar partner. So I partner with real estate agents. I partner with lenders. I actually had a really big lender team, or I'm going to say my husband had a really big lender team just join our squad, and they've got 18, 19 brokers that are going to be signing up. So, really strong partnerships in that real estate and lending family. So if you got real estate questions or real estate / solar questions, and what do we need to be looking out for, reach out to me if you need to. I am a tier 3 mentor. I specialize in California. I prefer California. I can do some other states, but I prefer California. And yeah, that is it for now. And I am going to jump into my training. So I'm going to stop my share really quickly so that I can pull up my other PowerPoint. And almost there, my friends. Now I just have to share screen. All right. All right, can you see my screen? Thumbs up, anyone? Give me thumbs up, yeah, not, thank you. Okay, guys. So today, when it came to the training, we asked you guys to put some comments in the section on what kind of topics you wanted to hear about. And one of the biggest ones is the financing. How do I know what financing to choose? Okay. As you guys know, with Powur, there's really 5 major financiers. There's 4 I'm going to talk about today, 3 for loans, 1 for leases or PPAs. And I'm just going to break down what I know about the finance companies, how I educate clients on them, and then why I choose some of those finance companies and give you guys some examples. So I'm going to get started with Mosaic. So Mosaic is one of our newest finance partners. They added on, I want to say 6 months ago, somewhere around there. So I've been with Powur almost 3 years now. Mosaic is one of the newest partners, but I use them for a lot of my clients. And some of the reasons why is, well, these are not the reasons why. Here's a little bit about Mosaic. So they started in Oakland, and one of their major investors was Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. So that's something that's an interesting little tidbit. You can pull up the article about it and read a little bit more about it with your client. If you share, you're building rapport with them and you want to talk about, that's why you chose them as a lender. They do a soft credit check. So when you're getting pre-qualified with them, it is a soft credit check. And they're looking for a 600 FICO score. So they're doing a soft credit check, looking for a 600 FICO score for them. On that 600, basically with Mosaic, they're going to be looking at Experian and Equifax, and they're going to take the lowest of the two scores. Okay, so as long as the lowest of one of those two scores is a 600, you should be good to go. I tend to lean toward this lender when I ask a client, what do they think their credit score is, or how do they think, do they have any credit challenges? If they think they do, or they say they're not sure about their credit score, then I'll tend to lean towards Mosaic for them. I like the fact that they have simple stipulations. So some of our other lenders, there's a little bit more documentation that you have to provide. Mosaic seems to be pretty straightforward, simple stipulations. They also give our clients the ability to re-amortize their loan. Actually, I'm sorry, Mosaic is just one time. So as of today, Mosaic only gives them the ability to re-amortize that loan one time. Some of our other lenders are different. So depending on that conversation I had with the client, if this is something that I know they're looking to do, then Mosaic's not going to be the lender that I go to first. Does that make sense? And then another thing about Mosaic is that they're really good for jobs if you know that job is under 45,000 or between 45 and 55,000. Okay, so based on that client's credit score, there's tiers of how much they get qualified for. Okay, Mosaic's basic tier or lowest tier is 45,000, and then that next level is 55,000. So if I'm doing a job with batteries or, something that's a little bit outside of that range, and I know that this client may have, they're right at that 600 mark, they're not sure how high that credit score is looking like, Mosaic is probably the lender that I'm going to go to. Okay, let's see, did I cover everything? I think I did. So here's a few more things about Mosaic, and the reason why I like them. They give you the ability to add household income without that household income being a cosigner. Okay, so loan's going to be under mom's name, 2 adult kids in the house. We can use all that income in the household, and those kids don't have to go on the loan. Okay, so that's something that's nice if you need to bump up that income. Also with Mosaic, when it comes to adders, when it comes to adding a roof, for example, they tend to be the most lenient because I can use up to 50% of the solar loan amount that can go towards a roof job. So when I have jobs that might need to have re-roofs in them or more expensive roof work done, 15,000 or, just more expensive roof work, I tend to lean towards Mosaic because they have they're more open to how much roof work you can do with that job. Every lender is different. Some lenders are less that they'll allow for those adders. And okay, so as of today, I've been hearing some of our other trainers talk about this, Chris Brunasso, Jonathan Brunasso, and then I started using this as one of my go-to loans, okay? Because we know the financing in the lending world is a little crazy right now, right? So how do we manage that? Well, Mosaic has a very good go-to loan. It's either the 20-year or 25-year 6.59. That loan is almost like cash, has the lowest fees attached to it. And on this example of a client that I just did last week, their average bill was $366. They're paying 35 cents a kilowatt for their energy, right? So I switched them to a Mosaic, 25-year 6.59. They're only paying $205 for the first 18 payments, and then $290 after that. That's still significantly less than that 366. And it gave them a nice low loan amount to look at, right, in order to do this deal. So this is an example that I just did last week. So when I'm looking at clients that have a healthier energy appetite, or they spend more money on their energy each and every month, and they have those high bills, $500 summer bills, $300 winter bills, or whatever, I'm looking at that Mosaic 20-25 year 6.59 rate. Okay. All right. Another one of the lenders on our platform is Goodleap. So we've got Mosaic and we've got Goodleap. Goodleap's been around for the longest. They've been here since I've been on the platform. They only do loans, and Goodleap also does a soft credit check. Okay. But they look for a 640 score or higher. So Goodleap is looking for a 640 score or higher. From how I understand, they look at all three of the bureaus and then grab the middle score or grab the score, looking for a 640 on all three of the bureaus. Goodleap is great for those funky jobs, right? Those jobs that, let's see. So Goodleap will be almost my second choice, I should say. I really shouldn't give choices. But Goodleap will be my second choice when I'm dealing with someone that maybe not know as much about their credit, right? They don't know how strong that credit score looks like. Let's see, Goodleap also offers fast pay and flex pay options. So out of the lenders on our platform now, they've got some of the best creative financing is what I call it, or creative loans for those clients. So for instance, fast pay allows you to have one payment for the first 5 years, and everything that you apply towards that payment or everything you apply in the first 5 years goes towards principal. So if you have a client that says, you know what, I want to pay this off in the first 5 years, but I don't want to pay cash, fast pay may be a good option to go to for them because it gives them that ability to chunk money towards that loan for the first 5 years and eliminate a lot of the principal on it. Okay. So that's a fast pay option. Flex pay is, they have like an 18-month, a 36-month flex pay where it's basically interest only for that period of time. Then after that period of time, it kicks into the interest payment. Okay, but that's another option that they have that offers you some good looking pricing when you're worried about the pricing for that consumer. Another good thing about Goodleap is that they allow you to re-amortize your loan up to 6 times throughout the life of the loan. Okay, so some clients, you know, every time they do their taxes, maybe they get a little bit money back or they're holding some money and they want to apply that and re-amortize their loan and lower their overall payment. Goodleap allows you to do that up to 6 times throughout the life of the loan. The requirements are it has to be a minimum of $2,500 or more, and you have to allow 12 months in between each time you do it. So if you know a client, the client is talking about that, that's something that they're interested in, we can offer them that with Goodleap. They've got minimum stipulations, so they don't require a lot of documentation after you get that loan approved, but you do need to provide them a driver's license front and back. So pro tip, when you're talking to your client, you're signing your loan docs, you're signing your approval docs, ask them for a copy of that driver's license, then and there, front and back, because it's going to be required when you go forward with Goodleap. Okay, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover there, but why I like Goodleap. So I talked about with Mosaic before, they have a 45,000, 55,000 when you're in that lower credit ranking. Well, Goodleap's is 75,000 when you're in that same credit ranking. So if I know that I'm dealing with a client that I need, it's a larger system, it's going to be higher than the typical 45, 55 grand, I may switch to Goodleap first. Also, fast pay and flex pay. Goodleap has those options. So here is a fast pay option that I gave to a client. They were concerned they're only going to be in the house for the next 5 years. They want to pay the minimum amount due up front. They don't care what happens when they sell the house. Okay. Again, average bill pretty high, 37 cents, Southern California, Edison territory. Okay. But for the first 60 months, $131 for that payment. And they're getting 28% more energy than what they produced the prior year. Okay, so it looks really attractive to the client. The payment does go up afterwards, but this is for those clients that have those certain needs. They don't want to pay cash, pay all their cash up front, but they're going to pay it off in the first 5 years, things like that. Okay. Now on to Sunlight. Sunlight. So Sunlight, they do loans only. You need a 650 credit score with Sunlight or higher. Initially, you can do a soft pull for the pre-qualification for Sunlight, but once you do the qualification to generate the loan docs, it actually becomes a hard credit check. Okay, so unlike the other two that are just soft pull until later, way later down, you know, soft pull, this is a soft pull initially, hard pull at once the docs are generated. The loans can be re-amortized after month number 18. Okay. The thing about Sunlight is that they have a little bit pickier underwriters, and usually when I'm using Sunlight, they've got more stipulations. Okay, so besides I might have to verify the title deed, I might have to provide tax returns. It just depends on the client and what that situation is. But Sunlight's going to definitely have some more stipulations. But Sunlight is our only lender on the platform right now that offers a 30-year loan option. So again, if I'm dealing with a particular client, they're looking at lowest possible payment, 30-year loan option might be the option, and Sunlight might be the way to go. Sunlight does not lend to businesses or LLC owned homes, right? Each and every lender has certain stipulations and guidelines, and that's one of Sunlight's. Okay, so one of the other lenders will allow that, but Sunlight won't. So depending on that client, you got to know where to go. And then Sunlight also offers this really nice and cool rewards program that I hear a lot of my brothers in solar talking about, my brothers and sisters. So as you're helping clients and you're using their loan program, you gain points. And those points can buy you cool things like trips to Disneyland or cruises or, you know, fancy glasses, things like that. Okay, so I also say that Sunlight are for my clients that when I ask them the question on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your credit? And they tell me 9 or 10, I'm going to Sunlight. Okay, because I know that they are stronger credit. Sunlight requires a little bit higher credit score. But one of the reasons I like Sunlight is that they got the lowest rates today and they've got some of the lowest fees today. Okay, so their rates and their fees are now lower than some of our other lenders. And so if I have a client that meets those parameters, Sunlight may be the option for them. So this was a quote for a 30-year 3.99 Sunlight, a payment of $107 and initially $153 at its worst. That's a pretty attractive payment depending on what that light bill looks like for the client. All righty. And then, okay, so last but not least, or the last one for me today, but not least, is Sunnova. So that's a fourth option. And Sunnova is different than our other 3 lenders. So our other 3 lenders are doing loans, okay, anywhere from 5 to 30-year loans with those payments. With Sunnova, they do offer loans, but they also offer PPAs and leases. Okay, so if you need to do a PPA or a lease product for your client, Sunnova is probably going to be the lender that you want to look at. You need a 650 or greater credit score if you're doing their loan or the PPAs. And the good thing about Sunnova, so here's another trick about Sunnova, another pro tip. When you're putting batteries on systems, they don't generally come with any warranties. But with Sunnova, if you use them as the lender and you put a battery on the system, that battery gets included in the 25-year warranty that they put on their loans. Okay, so that's a pro tip if you're doing batteries, right? Because some batteries may not make it the full time. With Sunnova, there's a warranty on that battery so that if that's the case, that battery can be replaced for that homeowner. So that's a reason why I would use Sunnova over some of my other lenders in that case. The thing about Sunnova is you need to be a mentor or you need to work with a Sunnova certified approved mentor. Sunnova is tricky, Sunnova is different, and it's a whole different system that you got to operate through. So if you enter that information wrong up front, I know because I did it before, I am a mentor, and in the beginning, I did it wrong. If you enter it wrong, you might forfeit a commission in that case because you entered the information wrong and sold the deal wrong to your client. So before you tackle Sunnova, make sure you put your first 1, 2, 3 deals with the mentor so that you get it right. But Sunnova is really a good option to go to, again, in the cases of when you're dealing with batteries or you want to deal with a lease or a PPA. So the next couple of slides, I'm just going to break down the differences between leases and PPAs because I've been getting that question a lot recently. So for a lease, typically fixed monthly price on that lease, it comes with no buyout option, okay? There is a production guarantee on the amount of kilowatt hours that system's gonna generate over its lifetime. And it can come either a fixed price, or it can come with an escalator, okay? A 0.9, 1.9, 2.9 are the escalators in Sunnova's. Some of our competitors are now offering a 3.5 escalator, okay? So when it comes to leases, those are the things that you need to know about, and those are the differences for a lease, okay? On the flip side though, with the PPA, the monthly price changes depending on production, okay? PPA stands for Purchase Price Agreement. It's a fancy way to say lease. You're still renting the energy from the utility company or renting the energy from that the system is creating, okay? You're still renting it. So it's a purchase power agreement. And it has a monthly price, which changes depending on production. You pay only for what you produce per month. It can come fixed or with the escalator. and it is not allowed in some markets. Okay, I know it's allowed in California, and I want to say Florida is the other state. If somebody throws in the chat and correct me if I'm wrong. But California, you can do them in California, and I believe Florida, or maybe Florida you can't. I'd have to check with another mentor. But that's the differences with PPA. And then also Sunnova offers something called a easy PPA. Easy PPA. It's kind of like a combination between the PPA and the lease, and it's a combination of all the products. It comes with a fixed monthly price. It adjusts annually based on production guarantee. It does have buyout options. Now, let me explain the buyout options. The way a typical PPA or lease buyout option works is that it's a 20 or 25-year product. And then at 5 years, you're allowed to buy out the system. Okay, so they give you a period at the 5-year mark to buy out that system. If you don't buy the system out at that mark, then you have to live out the rest of the lease. Okay, so that's what it means by buyout option. There's also a fixed, they can be fixed, or they can have an escalator clause. And again, those PPAs are not allowed in all markets. So depending on what market you're in, you're not even allowed to offer those PPAs. Okay. Now I'm doing good on time. I have one more slide. I'm going to break it down a little bit more. PPA breakdown. A lot of words I know. I apologize in advance. So for a PPA breakdown, it's a 25-year agreement. There's some that are 20 years. It just depends. And the option to buy out the system can only be done after 5 years or at the end of the term, 25 years or 20 years, whatever that agreement was. Then at the end of that lease, you have to pay the fair market value of the contract, is how it works. Fair market value of the equipment, fair market value of the system. Okay, what is that number? It's usually, it's told to you when you sign the contract up front, what that fair market value is, depending on what year you buy it out, 5th year or last year. 85% of system production guarantee over 25 years, or the company will pay you by check. So if your system is not producing what it's supposed to produce over that period of time, 85% of that, the company pays you by check. That's called a production guarantee. And that comes when you do a lease or a PPA. That you can do them fixed or escalators. Monthly price can be fixed, or it can go up annually by 0.9 is a new price in the system, 1.9 or 2.9. Okay, so every year it's a slight bump based on what that escalator clause is. Okay, for the 25 years. PPAs are transferable when you sell the house. Okay, or you just pay it out when you sell the house. They give us an example of a 10 kilowatt system that produces 15,000 kilowatt hours a year. The PPA price was 15 cents a kilowatt, which equals $22.50 annually or $187.50 a month. So you see how even with the PPA for producing 15,000 kilowatt hours of energy, your bill with Edison will be 2 to 3 times that $187.50 a month. Okay, so even with the PPA, there's some benefits there. And then, okay, I say this nicely, but door knockers of the past, not power door knockers, not with our culture, but door knockers of the past, and some still today, they really push PPAs, right? And that's one of the reasons why us real estate professionals don't necessarily like solar reps, okay? Because they push PPAs. Sometimes they don't even give an option of ownership to the homeowner, okay? The reason why they say it's zero down, you don't pay for solar, it's free, which is very misleading because that's not true. And you don't have to worry about the system maintenance. Okay, so that's how some people push those PPAs. So you don't want to push products that way. You don't want to sell the products that way. Give clients their option. Let them know what all the options are available, and then choose the right thing that works for them. Does that make sense? And that, my friends, pretty much concludes what I had to speak about today. That's it.
I have a question for you, Marisa.
Yes. What was your question?
So can you share why someone would opt to go into a lease rather than a purchase? Like, what would be a good candidate for a lease versus a purchase?
You know, that's a very good question, Isela. And I just had a client tell me they absolutely want a lease, and I asked that question. She knows that she can't benefit from the tax credit. is what she told me. She wants the lowest possible payment because she's not going to be here in 25 years. So she doesn't care. The house is going to be sold in 25 years. She's got a reverse mortgage on it. Those were kind of the reasons, because I even shared with her the difference between ownership and non-ownership. So she can't benefit from the tax credit. She didn't want to deal with the maintenance, even though there's not a lot of maintenance involved and you've got a 30-year warranty to cover the maintenance. But that had already really been sold to her prior to us even connecting and talking. And so in her mind, it's just lease PPA only in her mind. But I will share with the group that about 95% of my business is ownership. I strongly believe in ownership as a real estate professional. I believe in the benefits of the tax credit if it qualifies for that client. And I also believe in the value add to the home when it's an owned outright system. Okay. And so that's how I train realtors and educate them about solar. You know, let your client know there's options. It's not only a lease or PPA option, you do have an ownership option, right? So it just depends on their situation and their scenario as to which is the right choice for them. And they should be able to make that choice, not have the rep make it for them. Thanks for that question. Are there any more questions? I see two hands. Kathy? Okay, let's start with Kathy.
Yeah, on the lease, on the PPA breakdown, when a person sells their house, doesn't that cause complications though? When is a PPA?
It could, depending on the lender that they're using to sell their house. What basically happens is that there's a payoff demand that's ordered and you've got to pay now for the amount of the energy, for the whole amount of the contract, and for the system. So that's the main complication, right? A client wasn't aware that that's how it was going to work when it came time for them to sell their house, okay? And they thought that they were only going to be responsible for a $50,000 energy rental, so let's put it that way, but instead it's $50,000 plus another $20,000 for the equipment. Now they're upset.
So then just for me to wrap it up, if I was going to sell my house with the PPA system, it would be the total energy cost of the contract, even though it wasn't me that signed the contract, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus the fair market value of the
Hey,
okay.
Marisa, can I say a little something here? I think that's only in the case when they're buying the system out, but you can transfer most PPAs and lease without having to do that. So, but I will say that right now buyers do not want leased or PPA systems. So that's really the holdup, is that they like owned systems more. And so they're not wanting to adopt a lease or PPA system. So an owned system looks better. And I agree with Marisa that there are way more benefits to owning. It almost makes no sense to sell a PPA or a lease anymore, in my opinion, because they're so close in price now, but you get so many incentives. And even if your homeowner might not qualify for the tax credit, at least that payment ends one day and they might be transferring a system to a buyer who's not going to resist it because it's a PPA or a lease. Whatever happens with the transfer, if you are trying to transfer a PPA system or a purchase system, the buyer is going to have to qualify for credit either way. And the hard part is PPAs and leases of the past, they have a little bit harder of a qualification sometimes, because it used to be like 640 all the time to qualify. And now, as you guys know, we have lenders that can qualify down to 600. So they're making it easier for buyers to qualify. That's all. Just wanted to
say.
No, the reason why I asked is I had two friends that got tied into leases and PPAs when they bought the house, and they're absolutely miserable. It's not a product that I would want to sell. I'm just understanding why I'm just getting a clear understanding of why it's not a good idea, so that when I'm talking to a customer, I can talk to them at an educated level, because I'm not a realtor like you two. So that's why I asked, because I have someone that's in Malibu that her lease is horrible. She's miserable, but she's like, I'm stuck with it for the next 10 years. And it's not even producing what she wanted. So I just was wondering how she got stuck with it when she bought it. You know.
Marisa, did you want to add to that, or do you want can I say something?
You go ahead, Miss Cynthia.
So, and it's just because like, and Marisa knows, Marisa and I work with a bunch of real estate agents. So it's like what you said about your friend just hates it. It's not necessarily that it's a terrible deal. I mean, leases and PPAs of the past, without a doubt, are saving the homeowner money versus what they would pay their utility. They just hate it because it's not a system they created. Most of the time it's too small for what their needs are and they need more panels. That's the number one pain factor for buyers, is that right there, that they need more panels. But that's where you come in. Good news is you can offset the rest of your electricity. A lot of those dinky solar systems only have 10 to 12 panels anyway. And so let's add more so that we make that system completely obsolete. But yeah, what I would say is most buyers just don't like it. They don't like bought or leased solar. And the only way around that is for them to just add more solar panels. And, you know, there are programs now that will buy out the current leased solar system. So they might want to ask the company, like, do you have a buyout option? Because they could pay 10 to 15 grand sometimes more on buying that system out so that they don't need to think about it anymore. So that might be an option for them also. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Well, yeah, Cynthia and Marissa, sorry to be tight on this. It's just a very interesting topic. So we can add solar to their existing PPA or lease system?
You cannot add it to their existing PPA. You're going to add more panels to offset the rest of their electricity. So we call this a second system in solar.
Okay.
So, yes. So what you want to do is you want to get that electric bill. That's a good solar lead. And you want to say, hey, you know what I can do? I can see if I can make you 100% solar. Send me your electric bill. I'll take a look. Then you're going to look at their bill just like you would any other bill, see what they're overproducing past what their solar system is using, and build out a system to cover that usage. I would even see what their current system is producing annually and just try to cover that. So when that lease is over, you just have them take that off, and at least it'll be extra electricity for them in the meantime. I've been talking a lot, you guys, so I'm going to let Marisa pick it back up from here.
That is what this is for any of our mentors to jump in and answer. Thank you so much for that question, Kathy. I see Lily has had her hand up. Lily, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question for you and Cynthia. Anyways, yeah, with regards to lease and buy option, have you guys presented, like, I just wanted to know the difference for monthly payment for lease versus buy. Like, I know it's just similar, but I just do not know exactly the difference. Like, is it going to be like a $20 per month difference or less? Or based on your experience, what can you say?
I know that when I pull leases, I can get a lower payment. I don't know exactly how much, depending on the client and the energy needs. What do you see out there, Cynthia? Is it always?
Maybe in percentage wise?
I think that leases and PPAs are very similar in price. Personally, I would always sell a PPA over a lease just because there are more options to buy for the homeowner. So I would never sell a lease. I don't think it's good for the homeowner. That's just my personal opinion. If you're going to sell a PPA, there's not going to be much difference in price, and we have control over price here. So again, it depends how you price it, but they should be similar in price if you're working with the same profit margin. The benefit again to the PPA is you can do the PPA easy plan through Sunnova, which makes it a fixed payment every single month, because normally a PPA is not that. PPA stands for Power Purchase Agreement, meaning that they're going to purchase the power it produces. So their bills are going to be higher in the summer, lower in the winter. But with the PPA easy plan through Sunnova, you can make it a fixed monthly payment. They have more options to buy, so that when they do transfer the system, it is going to be a lot easier to buy that system versus a lease product. I still do think purchasing is better because you can get the price for purchase the same amount as lease and PPA. Again, I'm completely biased towards purchasing. I see no reason for someone to lease their solar nowadays. Even my retirees, I still think they should purchase. So
May I have a follow-up question? So with Power and Sunrun, what's the major difference? Because they offer a lease option, right? So I know our major advantages, but like with pricing wise, in order to compete, what are your strategies versus Sunrun?
So I used to work for Sunrun for a couple of years, and they are literally, God, I'm going to be careful because we're recording, but we are better in every category. So as far as quality of equipment goes, we offer superior quality of equipment. We offer better pricing. Their pricing is actually quite high in our industry. So you can get the price to be great, beat them. You can blow them out of the water, honestly, with equipment, warranty coverage, and pricing. So I don't see them as a competitor, in my opinion. And I do share that with homeowners. Hey, I used to work for Sunrun. They're not a bad company by any means. They're one of the largest solar companies in the US, but we outshine them in every category, in warranty coverage, financing, pricing, and quality of equipment.
Thank you.
Couldn't have said that better, Cynthia. And that's why you were number 14 on the leaderboard of the contest, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, Marisa.
We've got a few more minutes. Are there any more questions out there in the audience? Anybody want to raise their hand? Going once? I see a hand. Miss Kathy again. Come on, Miss Kathy.
I had a question on sunlight. Does it lend to business lows, rates, and fees? Forget it. It was something when you were going over it. I had it in my head and didn't write it down, but it was regarding sunlight.
That's okay.
Credit.
No worries. If you think about it again, we'll pick up for questions again right after.
Can you show the leasing screen again so I can take a screenshot of it, please?
I would actually have to pull it up. So let me send that to you right after. If that's okay, I'll put it in the chat. And so you guys can actually download it from the chat.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And then now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Chris so she can let us know what we need to be on the lookout for and how to mark our calendars for these upcoming events. Chrysalyn, you still there?
Yes, ma'am. All right, you guys. So upcoming events, mark your calendars. Hold on just a sec. On the 13th, which is every Thursday, we do have that Power On from 12 and 5 p.m. That's for new consultants coming in. Make sure you jump on that training. And then Mondays, we do have our regularly scheduled trainings with JC. And the link is there. So you want to join that as well. And on Monday, Power Hour, 5 p.m., you want to make sure you're inviting folks that you want to invite and join the platform. That's a great place to start. So make sure we're capitalizing on that. And then on Tuesdays, of course, with JB. JB is super awesome. He has a lot of great training. So don't miss out on that. And then on Wednesdays, 9 a.m., right before our training, we have the 9 a.m. Breakthrough Mastermind. So immediately after that, we'll see you guys back over here. And that's all.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Chris. And we usually end with a quote. It's a little blurry, but that's okay. So this was the quote that I picked today. Obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off your goals. So Brian Tracy, I think Henry Ford originally said it. Brian Tracy, it's been requoted a couple of times, but that was the quote that I grabbed for today. And I wanted to share with everyone on this call. And then last but not least, please, please, please come back next week. We're going to have our one and only Miss Cynthia training on lead generation. So lead generation training, tips and tricks. We're all going to give you as mentors our tips and tricks during that training as well. But Cynthia's going to be leading that. And then we have a special guest, Miss Kelly Holmes, who is the CEO of Team Referral Network. So one of the tools of Cynthia's success that she talks about is Team Referral Network. She's going to actually have the CEO on that call interviewing her and giving us some tools for our business on how to grow our business. So please, friends, family, come back next week. We look forward to hosting you. Thank you for taking the time to watch the Women of Power training series. I hope that you got some great value out of that video, and there's much, much more where that came from. Listen, If you'd like to join Powur or find out more about this awesome and amazing platform, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description. I look forward to connecting with you real soon. Have a great day.